Welcome to the creative community. I'm your host, David Starkey, and my guest this time is author Jenna McCarthy. Jenna, welcome.
It's great to be here.
I'm already laughing. Our friend Starshine Rochelle told me that she would give me $100 if I didn't laugh while you were here, and I'm already...
Oh, that's just a little pressure, Dave. Thanks.
So we're going to keep it going. But you are the author of a book called The Parent Trip, and we're going to talk about your various incarnations throughout your career. But I want to start off... tell me a little bit about the book and read us an excerpt, would you?
I would love to. It is actually a nonfiction account of the journey from not at all wanting to have kids to deciding to have them and then going through that transformation to becoming a mom.
All right.
I'll start with a section from one of the early chapters. The chapter is called Anyone Seen My Maternal Instincts? And it's about finding out that your friends are pregnant. So after all, when someone you love has a baby and you don't, and you aren't planning to anytime soon, and you still think happy hour is the best reason to get out of bed in the afternoon, I think it's natural to be a little torn. On the surface, I was always all smiles and support. Wow, I'd gush, instinctively reaching out to lay my hand on the still flat belly in question. Isn't that just the most magical and beautiful thing in the world? But the very large imaginary thought bubble over my head would read more like this. What in God's name are you thinking? You're going to be chained to that child for the rest of your life, or at least the rest of hers. And you're going to have this daughter, because all women secretly want daughters, although we never know what we're going to get, so we can't look picky, at least until she grows up and realizes mothers are embarrassing at best and failures at worst. At which point she publicly renounces you in People magazine, which she'll be able to do because everyone knows screwed up moms always have famous kids. Just when you think your life can't get any worse, she will go on to pen the New York Times bestseller, Living with the Worst Mom on the Planet. But long before that, she'll want piano, soccer, tuba, scuba, ballet, and hockey lessons, pierced ears, and a puppy of her own. And right then and there, you can kiss your annual spa weekend goodbye. And your weekly manicures, which you won't need anymore because who's going to see you? It's not like you'll be getting out of the house. Of course, ragged nails... excuse me, are going to be the least of your worries, with the stretch marks, National Geographic boobs, and wardrobe of sweatpants waiting for you as the new Mom Club's newest member. Maybe in 15 or 20 years you'll wear nice clothes again, but until then you won't be able to afford them or you won't be able to fit into them, and even if you can and you are, you'll never get the carrot and spinach medley out of them. Social life? You won't have one. Sex life? Ha! Your days are going to be a sad blur of homework and heartbreak and broken bones and lice. Have you ever combed a head for lice? For the record, it's disgusting. You will embarrass her just by existing. You will do and say everything you swore on stacks of Bibles that you wouldn't, like because I said so and don't talk to me in that tone of voice. Your darling daughter, the one you played Beethoven to in the womb and fed at your very breast, will snarl and hiss and lie to you and tell you to your face that she hates you. One day you will take Precious shopping for school clothes, and when you won't buy her the $98 jeans she wants, she will throw a temper tantrum right in the middle of Bloomingdale's. You'll have to drag her out of the store screaming, "You can go to school in your stinking pajamas for all I care." She'll drink beer when she's 13. She'll smoke pot when she's 14. She'll have sex when she's 15, but possibly sooner because you had sex when you were 15 and you weren't even popular. She'll need braces. She'll need bras. At least you hope she'll need bras, because in all truth, you really didn't, although you insisted on having them anyway. She'll want ski trips, her own car, designer everything, and probably a nose job, a tattoo, or both. And what if she turns out to be a lesbian? What if she becomes a trash collector or a lawyer or one of those women who marry a millionaire on TV and then pose in Penthouse? What if she looks like your Uncle Fred? Alas, I never uttered a word of this, and it's a good thing I didn't, because before long, I was the one having my midsection measured in squares of toilet paper, and honestly, there's nothing worse than a festive chorus of "I told you so," except maybe the first bowel movement after you give birth.
So this is not a book for people who are just enamored of the idea of childbearing. And,
yeah, probably not. Probably not. It's a reality check, yeah.
Well, it's interesting, though, as the parent of 4 children myself, you sort of nailed it pretty quickly before you even had any kids. Now, how did you kind of suss out all these bad things that were going to happen in parenthood?
That's pretty much my life story right there, what I just read you. I was a horrible child. I mean, I really was. And my mom used to say to me, it's in the book, someday you will have a daughter just like you. Yeah. And I have 2, actually.
You have 2? Yeah.
Yes.
Now, are they just like you?
They are very strong-willed and surly. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, talk to me a little bit about writing this book, because you're taking a risk. I mean, it's very funny, as we could hear, but you know, you're kind of moving against the conventions that we have about new parents. Sure. Did you feel nervous about that?
You know what? I'm never scared to push the envelope. I have been writing for a long time, and I've told all my editors, you know, it's easier to rein me back you know, I'd rather put it out there and you can tone it down if you need to.
Okay.
And the beauty of writing a book is you don't have an editor. You can say what you want. And I loved that process. My mom read it and her exact words were, "I didn't know you were a shock jock." I guess I am. I didn't think about it that way, but...
Well, you have been a shock jock here in Santa Barbara.
Actually,
co-host of a K-Tide morning show. And I want to move back to your childhood now, and then we'll come back again, and we'll hear more from the Parent Trip. But take me back to the early days of Jenna McCarthy. Where'd you grow up? And
Born in New York, mostly raised in Florida.
Okay.
I was one of those kids that was submitting short stories to Highlights magazine probably when I was 8.
Oh, wow.
Never got published, by the way. No,
Yeah.
no, I would. How great would that be to, you know, hawk that on eBay? No, I submitted some stuff to Reader's Digest, also not ever published. And I loved writing, went to school, didn't really know what to do, so frankly, because 30-something was a popular show and that looked like it might be a fun gig, I majored in advertising.
Okay.
And got out of school with no appreciable skills or experience.
Right. You had a minor in French.
I did have a minor in French, which is completely useless. Even when I go to France, I try to order a croissant and I get that persnickety look. That's fine. Yeah, so I did what you do when you get out of school with no skills or experience. I became a sales rep.
Right, so you went back up to New York.
No, I stayed in Florida for a while. I worked at a little independent weekly, very similar to the Independent here in style and format, but not at all similar in that the copy was horrid. And I was selling ad space, and that's how I made my money, but I started volunteering to rewrite the copy just because it was bad. And no, they weren't paying me. But I said, I'm selling this product, and it's kind of embarrassing, so can I just, you know, tweak some stuff? So I